To talk to us more about the pending vaccine supply, we have with us tonight Dr. Gloriana, head of the vaccine expert panel. Hi, Dr. Gloriana. We know we have now the EUA for the Chinese vaccines. Can we expect finally to that to come? But when it does come, confidence is not very high. People are very cynical, particularly when it comes to Chinese vaccines specifically. Are we starting off on the wrong foot here? And what are the risks and the benefits as well?
Okay, let me tell you first, if you're talking about risk, it's really the safety you're probably talking about. And all of the vaccines we have evaluated so far are safe, okay. But maybe what is confusing the public is the efficacy. But please do not interchange safety with efficacy. Efficacy is protection against the disease. Now that disease could be mild disease, moderate disease, COVID disease, or severe disease. Now in the case of Sinovac, that produced 50.4 or 0.6% vaccine efficacy. They did the clinical trial in among healthcare workers. 100% of their participants were healthcare workers who were at the time of the trial were exposed, had high in Brazil at least. They had so many cases of COVID at that time. So you would argue that they were exposed to so many cases at that time, and maybe that contributed to the low efficacy. Now, but in the same study, they have, you could, do subset analysis or subgroup analysis. So against hospitalization, those, whether nabakunahan, no, vaccinated or who received placebo, those who did not require hospitalization, they were protected up to 78%. And vaccine efficacy against the severe form of COVID was at 100%. So that was for Brazil. Now, for Istanbul, for Turkey, they had both healthcare workers and the general public participating in their trial, and they achieved 91.25% vaccine efficacy. So it really differs a lot depending on the population you test. So maybe you cannot even compare it to others like the more novel platforms that we have because they were not tested 100% in healthcare workers. I think that would be the best explanation for that.
Okay, so let's make that clear po. Safety, there's no question about safety. It is safe. It's the efficacy that we're talking about. But when it comes to efficacy, that's also part of the headlines that people are seeing. I know a lot of people are talking about this. Why yesterday what the FDA said and the DOH said was hindi ibibigay sa frontliners. Now FDA is saying hindi, may option pa rin sila. But whether hindi ibibigay or may option sila, what people are reading into this is bakit yung mga frontliners natin mismo hindi raw bibigyan nung Chinese vaccines? What is important for people to understand when it comes specifically to qualifying the use of Sinovac on frontliners or not?
Well, it can protect 50% of the time. And that is what the threshold, that is what WHO says is good. It's good enough, 50%. Now, maybe, if there is something better and people would rather choose that higher vaccine efficacy, then they can go for it if it is available. But if we do not get the supplies as soon as possible, you know that we have had some delays in the supplies of the vaccines, whatever we have should be started. We should use them. You know, 50% is better than zero efficacy. No, you do not get protection at all if you do not take any vaccine. And by the way, this EUA will also allow the more inputs from the vaccine companies in terms of additional data on their subjects. Okay, maybe I should tell you, for the elderly, that is why also the elderly were not included in the recommendation because they only had, I think, less than 600 participants in the age group 65 and above. And if you're talking about statistics, that is underpowered. So we cannot use that small number.
Okay.
But as they go along, as they proceed with the clinical trial, they can generate more data from other participants. That number can increase, and then whatever data they produce may be statistically meaningful.
Okay, maraming salamat po. That was Dr. Nina Gloriani, head of the Vaccine Expert Panel.